Okay, we got a 1,500 point battle for you today. Mechanized Eldar. You've seen this army before, 2 Falcons, 2 transports. And inside the transports, we have 2 groups of Fire Dragons, a small group of Dire Avengers with a dual gun Exarch, a large group of Dire Avengers with a power weapon Shimmer Shield Exarch, and Phoenix Lord Asurmen and Eldrad. And I'm facing a really interesting Imperial Guard army. No tanks, all infantry. A line of infantry starting on the table in spearhead formation, as well as a ton of dudes up here. There's a squad of deep striking guys, some outflanking guys, some other kinds of dudes. I don't even know what they do, but it's going to be very cool. So, very interesting battle. My army's built to fight tanks, and there are not a lot of tanks. There's 0 tanks here, so it's going to be very interesting. And we are fighting over 2 objectives. Objective number 1 and objective number 2, this big Eldar-looking obelisk over here. And my opponent's, I guess, going to decide if he wants to steal initiative. Here we go. He's going to try. Oh, close. Gets a 5. Okay, so we're on, and Eldar is going first. Okay, rounding up, top of turn 1, what happened? Fortune on the squad inside here, Fortune on the vehicle, jetted out 24 inches, going straight for that battle line over there. These guys moved 6, 6, 12. Unfortunately, this guy was a smidgen out of range to fire at those guys with the turret, so just a little bit out there. Over here, what happened? This guy got fired in and just shot down like 4 guys with all of his guns. A missile fired in the small template, and that unit actually ran away after taking heavy casualties. This guy over here fired in and managed to blow away one of those 2 templates because they did get cover. There's, from this guy over here, there was actually cover from that squad there. So one of them made a save, but they made their leadership because they were just close enough to that guy to get his leadership 10. So that was it. So we're on to bottom of turn 1 for the Imperial Guard. Back in a bit. Okay, so rounding up bottom of turn 1, what happened? The army here fired a whole fusillade of shots into here, but somehow my fortune on the cover save really held. I think I saved about 5 penetrations or something on this guy. Over here, actually, some autocannons fired a barrage into this guy, but somehow they couldn't get a single hit on him, which is a surprise because they only need 4s. But so this guy breathed a sigh of relief. And we are on to the top of turn 2 as my army tries to approach, well, at least one unit of my army tries to approach that battle line over there. Back in a bit. Okay, so top of turn 2, what happened? Vehicle went cruising speed, unloaded over here. He fired into a squad that was there with the help of this guy, and one of the Falcons managed to shoot enough guys that they ran away. Also killed enough guys that had opened the firing lane for no cover onto that unit. And then these guys blade stormed into there. So Phoenix Lord Asurmen, 9 guys, a pistol shot from Eldrad, and a blade storm on the Dire Avengers that were able to fire into there. And we killed something like, I don't know, this entire squad of guys were just shot to pieces. And 1 wound was put each on the independent character, and both of those gunner squads over there, they went to ground, so they're down, but they probably got an order that'll bring them up. And that was pretty much it. This guy fired into that squad of 2 guys now back there, and also managed to kill another one, because the other guy, again, had cover from a guy in front of him. So we killed one there, and he stuck it out. And that was it from top of turn 2. So we're on to bottom. Okay, rounding up. Bottom of turn 2, what happened? A shot from that guy into this Falcon, connected, but couldn't get through the armor. Over here, these guys finally got some sweet vengeance and just gunned right into this guy. They had an order, bring it down, and they managed to connect with all 3 and just blew this guy up. Actually, he just wrecked him, but he's there. These guys here took a barrage of fire from everything that could fire in the army, but only 1 guy died. Unfortunately, none of the 3 units that are in reserve showed up for the Imperial Guard yet, so they're really hurting right now. But if they can all show up next round, I'll be in trouble. In the meantime, we are on to top of turn 3. Back in a bit. Okay, a quick little mid-turn 3 wrap-up, because there's an interesting combat starting. We doomed both of these units, fortuned them, and then we double-charged them. We managed to roll high enough on our move and our assault through the terrain. And we're going to see what happens there, so back in a bit. Okay, so rounding up top of turn 3, what happened here? We had to strike last, because we went through terrain, but somehow the Imperial Guard couldn't even force a single wound onto us. We didn't even have to roll an armor save, so that was really unlucky for them. But we presumably chopped down about 7 or 8 guys total, and this last remaining unit ran, because the character that had leadership 10 was one of the ones I killed. And then we consolidated about 3 inches. So we're on to bottom of turn 3. Let's see what shows up. Let's roll for it. See if some stuff finally starts showing up. Platoon.
Yeah,
that's good enough. It's a 5.
All right. Here, I'll roll it over here. Stormtrooper Squad 1. Yes.
Yeah, finally in.
Stormtrooper Squad 2. Yes.
That's about time. All right, so now the game is changing because all these reserves are finally showing up for the Imperial Guard. Back in a bit. Okay, so what happened? Rounding up bottom of turn 3, these guys showed up. Giant squad came on this way. Deep Strikers tried to land here, but they shifted over there, so they are near the objective. These guys flew in here very bravely and direct hit on their Deep Strike. So 2 Meltas hit into here, but by some miracle, I just can't shoot, and they blew off my missile. My missile, which was normally right there, has been blown off. Because it can go, that pinning weapon. And what else happened over here? Some shooting into Eldrad's squad from everything that could fire, but by some miracle, no wounds caused after fortune. However, some of these mortars went super crazy close. Some of them dropped on my squad, some of them dropped on this squad, so they took 1 wound each. So that was kind of weird. But we're on to bottom of turn 4. So it's going to be interesting because this objective here is going to be really hard for me to own. I don't have a ton of resources. I think the best I can do against this massive bodies is just contest it, so we're going to have to see what I can do. Back in a bit. Okay, rounding up, top of turn 4, what happened? I unloaded those Falcons, the Fire Dragons, they walked out, melted in here, killed 2 guys, charged in, only managed to kill 1 guy, but we didn't suffer in return, and they stuck around. This vehicle just flew over here. These guys flew over here, unloaded, fired into here with dual guns, only managed to kill 2 guys. That vehicle fired everything in there, couldn't get through the cover save, so they survived. That was pretty impressive. This guy was unfortunately stymied. He wasn't able to shoot. Over here, though, what happened? Eldrad and Phoenix Lord Asurmen and his squad ran in. They ran far enough to... they doomed both units. They charged both of them. They wiped out this unit. They killed this guy down to 1 man, and he's running, so he's going to be off the table soon. These guys survived, though, so they're still ready to fire. And we're on to bottom of turn 4. See what happens. Okay, so rounding up bottom of turn 4, what happened? These guys lost combat despite having better stats. They couldn't just do it. We couldn't do any wounds. We lost by 1 and we ran. Yeah, at least they didn't catch us, thank God. So we ran towards our table edge over here. So that was the most clutch play by the veterans. And now you know why they're veterans, or stormtroopers, that's why they're stormtroopers. What happened? These guys over here fired into here, but just couldn't... oh no, they did connect and they made it so we can't shoot. On this guy. Over here, these guys ran into the building and they got an order to let them reroll hits on here, but somehow their hits didn't actually damage my vehicle, so from the Meltas. So these guys just moved forward really quickly and they're very close to the objective there. So we're on to top of turn 5, okay? Here we go. Okay, so rounding up top of turn 5, what happened? These guys unloaded and went in there and fired Meltas, wiping out those 2 guys. This vehicle flew over here, shot into here, could cause no wounds though. We fired Meltas into there, no wounds because of cover. Finally, 1 wound at some point got through. I think it was from either the Meltas or these guys. Only 1 wound out of like 7 or 8, so that was impressive saves there. This guy fired in here, killed 2 guys. So leadership check on these guys, and they're brave. Yeah. And on to bottom of turn 5. Oh, what happened over here also, as expected, they fortune doomed and just shot those guys to death. They ran up there and shot them, so that was it. Alright, back in a bit. Okay, rounding up bottom of turn 5, what happened? This vehicle, these guys, orders were given to bring it down, melt us in here, finally immobilized him, blew off another gun. A charge by these guys, melta bombs, crack grenades, immobilized him, took away all of his weapons, and he can't shoot, but he's still alive somehow, and the guys inside are still inside, but literally this vehicle is just a husk. It's just a husk, a shell holding the guys inside. And that was about it for that turn. We're going to see if the game ends. So my opponent's going to roll, and on a 1 or 2, the game will end. So there we go. We got a nice big dice here. We are.
No, the game continues.
Game continues. Okay, so on to turn 6. Here we go. Back in a bit. All right, rounding up top of turn 6. These guys over here just camped out. Started camping near that objective. They can't possibly get anywhere to affect the game anymore. So no powers even, because the ranged power is too short. It's 18-inch. Over here, Meltas fired in on these 2 guys. Nothing. 5 Meltas fired in, all missed. This tank had to waste all of its guns to finally gun those guys down. Worst Meltas ever. These guys over here managed to fire a missile, get some shots, killed 3 guys after all cover saves are made on here. I decided not to unload the squad. I'm betting on the fact that maybe if he can't kill me from shooting, he won't be able to assault them. I'm hoping. Desperately hoping. We'll see. Okay. Back in a bit. Bottom of turn 6 coming up. All right, rounding up bottom of turn 6. What happened? Tactical decision. There's not a lot of options here, so he decided instead to fire this whole unit of guys, first rank, second rank fire into these guys. Somehow I survived because I went to ground, so I had a 3+ because there's a bit of a hill in the way. And 2 guys died though. Oh, I do have to make my leadership on them though. So let's see if they run away. Oh, they just make it with a 9. Okay. And that was about it. So
We forgot to fire with those guys.
oh, he's got one more unit firing. Never mind. Here we go. We're gonna roll it up.
They're actually going to turn around and fire on the Wave Serpent.
Firing on the Wave Serpent. Here we go. So we actually do have some exciting action here.
2 hits.
Nice. All right.
That
And
is going to. They do not get the melter rule because of the energy fields.
right. So strength 8. And these Meltas. Here we go. Nice penetration. Let's see what the penetration does. AP1 on my little vehicle, my Wave Serpent.
It
Explodes. How big does the explosion go?
It explodes
3 inches. We'll check. I don't know if it actually hits anybody.
Damn.
3 inches. No, it's not going to hit any of your guys. Okay, so that thing is toast. It just blew up. And never mind. We are still on to seeing if the game ends now. Bottom of turn 6, 1, 2, or 3. The game will end.
Oh no, I'm toughness 3.
The game ends.
The game ends. I believe it's contested and 1 owned by the Eldar there. So it's 1-0. Good close game, my friend.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, that's it. That was the game.